Good day, guys. I'm back again. So today, this one is for those people that are just starting this tailoring work. Go, 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 go. Let me teach you how to make this very simple gown. Take your fabric, fold it into two. What you are folding is your client's measurement. For those who do not know, go and check my previous videos on how to measure. So my client's measurement divided by 4. That is all I did. But I added 3 inches allowance because it is a free gown. You can use 3 or 4 inches. After checking the measurement divided by 4, the next thing I looked at for was the length. For this person, I wanted to use length 40 plus sewing allowance. I did length 42. That's why I'm putting my tape on. So I got a length. That is why I chalked out. After getting the length and the body size measurement divided by 4, the neckline, I used 3.5 inches. For the width, how wide I want the neck to be. The person's back, I used 8.5. Her back is 16 divided by 2 is 8 plus sewing allowance, I used half. And I brought 10 inches down. Around that mole is 20 divided by 2. That's what I did. So afterwards, how I want my neck to be. I want it to be a V-shaped neck. That's why I slanted my tape rule and dragged it down. I used 7 inches for the lowness of the neck. 7 inches down, 3.5 inches wide. So from that tape, I'm going to take half inch and give it a slant shape up because that's the shoulder part. For the armhole, the middle of that part, I'm going to take 1 inches extra because of the way the body is structured. So this is make convenient. You can use your ruling set if you have. But for people who do not have, just follow this method and you will still achieve the same results. I promise you. So that's all. All I'm going to do is to cut out what I already chalked. I'm cutting out the armhole first. Then I move to the neck part, which is a V-shaped neck. And that place I slanted by ½ inch. And the body size. Remember, I already divided my measurement into 4. Putting extra allowance. That's all. Then the lower part. After that, I move to the next part. That's the front. I want to cut the back. It's a free gown, so no need to put zip allowance. I think it's not a free gown. I'm going to put 1.5 inches extra. But this one is a free gown, no need for allowance. As I said, it's a beginner's friendly tutorial. So all I have to do is to just cut out the exact thing apart from the neck part. And that's because the back would be higher than the front. You know, the front I used 7 inches low. I don't want that for the back. But with the wideness is still the same 3.5. I just chalked it out there. So for the back, I'm going to use 1.5 inches because I don't want it to be too low. So I use 1.5 inches. So that is me taking 1.5 inches and still the 3.5 for the wideness. And I just curve it. If you have your ruling set, please use it. That's all low. See how simple it is. This is it. Cut out the back. You're done. And cut out the lower part. So let's move to the hand. At least we must put hand in our clothes now. So to cut the hand, you take your remaining fabric again to you fold it into 2. That's the first rule. Remember I said this person's armhole is 20, so I'm going to fold it into 12. That's because 10 inches for the armhole 20 divided by 2 is 10 plus 2 inches extra allowance. That's what I'm doing. So I divided my clothes into 2 and I add 12. And for the length of the sleeve, how long I want the sleeve to be. For my sleeve, I used 11 inches. I want it to be 10, but plus sewing allowance, I did 11. So from there, half of 12 is 6. That is the 6 that I ruled out there. Then from where 6 is, I will measure 2 inches down. That's the 2 inches I chalked. And I'm going to give it like a curve. If you have your ruling set, you can use it. It is very helpful. Then the lower part of the sleeve, I used 8 inches. The person's round up hole is like 14, but because it's a free gown, I used 16. So this is me cutting it out. That's all you have to do. After you cut out your first sleeve, remember we have 2 sleeves. Just replicate the same thing. Cut it out on the second one. Voila. The hand of your dress is ready. So the next thing you want to do after cutting everything out is to go and start sewing. So when I want to sew, I don't want to use bias to tape my clothes. I decided to use what we call shiny face to tape my clothes. So I cut out my shiny face. This is the white one. Using the exact shape of the neck, I just cut it out. So like I said, I just cut it out and I used my office pin to pin it down so it doesn't move when I'm sewing it on the machine. So this is me putting it on my machine to achieve the same thing. When sewing, I turned the right side of the shiny face to the wrong side of the fabric That's how you do it. So by the time you turn it out, the right side of the shiny face will then be facing the right side of the fabric. After sewing, there's something called notching. You just cut off some parts that you don't allow it reach the stitches part. It makes it easy for you to turn your fabrics. So this is it. I took it to my ironing table. This is me trying to turn it. While turning it, I used my iron on it, so it's very easy for me to turn out to the other part, and it will come out very neat. That's why I was using my iron on it. So it's best for you to use your iron. So look at it now. The right part is facing the right part of the fabric. There you have to go and sew it down again. I'm using my office pin. So as tailors, your office pin is like very important. It helps you pin down things. So I'm just going to pin it down, and I'll go and sew on the edges of that shiny face, which is what I'm doing here. I'm sewing on the edges, like the edges, gone. Let me sound like this Yoruba people. That's because it makes your work very neat. You don't want to have a very tacky work. People would not like it on you. So you sew on the edges of the shiny face on the fabric. I hope you understand. You sew on the edges of the shiny face on the fabric. Remember, I already pinned it down so it doesn't move anyhow. So that's what I'm going to do for the back too. I'm going to go and color that shiny face and replicate it the same way I did this front, following the pattern of the back. See, you can see the back here. Then I want to join the front and the back together, shoulder to shoulder. I made sure they are aligning. That's it. The opposite sides, opposite sides are the ones outside. Then the right sides are facing each other. Then I'll go and join that shoulder together. After joining the shoulder together, it's time to fix the sleeve. Yeah, so the center of your clothes, where the shoulder is joining, and the center of the sleeve you cut, that's what I'm showing you. You pin it together. Can you see the center of the sleeve and the center of your shoulder? You pin it together. After pinning it together, then you start sewing. Some people sew from the beginning to the end, but I like to take mine from the middle, the way I've already pinned it, from the middle where I pinned it. So I'm going to sew that first part. So you are the one controlling your machine, because some people say they don't know how to sew the sleeve because of the way it is curved. The way it is curved, just be turning it, making sure both fabrics are meeting each other. Like that is not hard at all if you keep doing it. Then I move to the other side too, and sew the same thing. You know, I took it from the middle because of the center where I used pin to hold. Then I'm going to sew the other side too, just like this, making sure the fabrics are meeting each other. The fabric of the sleeve and the body. This is what you have. Can you see? Then you join it together. You fold it. The sleeve that I already took, since I've sewn it together, I'm going to pin it with my pin so that my fabrics do not move. You know, I told you I use office pins a lot, so I'm going to sew half inches down the line, half inch rather, down the line from the sleeve part down to the body. Your cloth is ready. Then you turn the lower part. You don't want to leave it like that. It's going to be pulling out. So you just turn it twice, so you can weave it before turning it if you want. That is all, nothing much. And you have your gown. Your gown is already ready. It's already ready. I hope you enjoyed my class. And please don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, so I can update you with more interesting, simple sewing hacks. My dress is ready. You can collect, let me say, like 4 to 5K when you sew this extra cash by the side. And you already make your money. I hope you find my class helpful. Thank you. So that's it.